Welcome back to Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer's here. We're singing "Let Me Love You Down" in the during the break.
Yep.
It was awesome. Roller skating rink rules are in effect.
But with us today on Zoom.
Great segue.
I don't know. I don't know anything about music.
I didn't give you anything.
Roller skating into our lives with
There you go.
Perfectly said.
There it is.
with a
Professional.
an awesome outfit. Which, by the way, Brendan, he has more fun than I'll ever have.
100%.
In one day in my entire life.
Brendan
That's
O'Connor.
true. That's true.
And how could it be?
Brendan O'Connor, the face of Orlando, Mr. Orlando, Bungalower in the Bus, the radio show. You see this guy all around town, is on the line with us right now. And do I hear a tinge of jealousy from you that
No.
because Brendan, we've been having an issue with Tom having issues with fun. He does not have any fun. And
I just don't know how to have the fun that I see others have. Like Brendan, every time I see Brendan, he's having fun.
yeah, he's dressed up. He's in a pool on a pool float.
Yeah, like okay, Brendan.
He's dressed like an old lady. He's dressed like an old man. He's drag queen. He's on a flamingo float.
Do you have a what is it called? Like an understudy, a person? Like I need Brendan to be my
stand-in?
fun mentor. You know what I'm saying? Like I need him.
Life coach.
Life
Fun
coach. Fun coach.
There it
How about
is.
you call him your mentor?
yeah.
Yes.
Would you be Tom's mentor and kind of lead him around Orlando and teach him your fun ways?
Yeah, I feel like my fun ways are a result of a life of lots of drugs.
Okay,
I
hey,
have
wait
that
a
too.
minute.
He's got that.
Yeah.
He just has no fun.
We're on to something now.
Drugs, no fun.
Yeah, this guy.
How
Stares
could it
at
be?
plans.
Yeah, this is more like the
like drugs.
sad side of drugs.
I like drugs.
Yeah, there's a sad side.
There's an unfortunately
fun-
terrible side of drugs.
Yeah.
Even in my family, it has killed individuals that we care about so much. But there's also the fun part of drugs, which is what I'd really like to lean on.
Like you
Which
remember,
you never tell kids about. I'm the other side of the coin that you could be a blogger that doesn't really have a job and eats food and wears funny clothes.
That sounds amazing. If I told my daughter, and showed her
That
you
you could
right
live your
now,
life that way, yeah.
she would decide to be this right now.
100%.
She would be working at.
I'm debating leaving this show.
it's like last time.
Get in line, sister.
First off, here's how long, how fast time goes. Last time we were able to hang out with Brendan was at Hullabaloo, like a year ago.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
I think it was almost. It had to have been almost around a year ago, right?
Brendan was 14 years old then.
and
That's how long ago it was.
and then a great event, but me I'm always just stressed out. I'm like, what? How do you read this, lawyers? And the sponsors. I have to do stage, and then I look over Brendan. He's hanging out. He's having a cocktail. He's in a
He was supposed to be
baby
handing
bowl.
out cocktails, but he was just
Didn't
drinking.
happen.
And then I'm like, how is this man having so much fun? And I'm sitting here stressed out about the copy that I'm supposed to read on stage.
I seem to recall you calling out the mayor about something too. Didn't you say something like,
Stupid.
you used to hate us, and now we have to hang out with you on the stage?
Oh yeah. We say something awkward that makes us
something
makes
weird.
nobody want to work with us again too. It's like, how can we be nervous about something and stressed out about it, then ruin it for ourselves? So that's what we
Own
do,
worst
Brendan.
enemy.
And then after we're like, why did we say that? We ruined it, and then we're more stressed.
I think
How can it be?
The last thing I remember was the mayor walking off the stage, not wanting to talk to either of us, and beelining it for a tent, and you just looking at him because he had a Gators polo on because there was a Gator game that day, and you were just like, "Go Gators!" It was sad. It was sad.
So
Go
Brendan,
Gators, buddy, please.
tell us about this event, because how I found out about it is Daniel sends me a text.
In
He's
a
like,
rush, I'm like, Brendan needs money.
He's like, Brendan O'Connor.
Give him money. I
He's
go
like,
get this guy some of our money.
And then all I knew is that if you were involved, that it was going to be fun because
That
you were
is
the
exactly-
king of. And
King
then I
of
said,
fun.
pay this man
Yeah.
anything he asks for.
That is exactly what he said. 'Cause
Sponsor whatever
I
he
said,
wants.
Brendan's doing this thing. I sent him the little, you gave me a little deck that I could show him, DECK. And then I
didn't even see it.
Yeah, Tom was like, I'm all in. Yeah, it's fine. Just do whatever you want. It's Brendan. It's good.
Yeah. Thank you so much. So we're taking over. We're kind of setting up like a residency in an empty car lot across the street from Wally's. the guy that bought Wally's bought this car lot, and he's not really doing anything with it. And he's very nice, this nice little British guy. And he said that we could do whatever we wanted with it. And
That's
so
awesome.
I called him on his bluff. And we're doing a whole series. It's 3 months of just weird outdoor crazy events, funky movie nights. We're starting with something called Mayhem on Mills, which is this underground wrestling series that they do in Mills 50. And they're kicking it off this Sunday on the 21st. And so we still have some tickets left. We're doing a pop-up stage. I bought some bleachers with the help of you guys. Thank you so much for your donation.
Oh, yeah, wow. I mean, Tom didn't believe me that you're setting up bleachers.
Yeah. I found it odd that bleachers were $8,000.
Yeah, it was a little odd.
But I said, whatever. I chose Brendan.
But
He's
again,
the fun king.
that's the fun side of drugs. We'll get there.
Yeah.
A lot of that money.
$8,000, just so you know. You get
Oh, okay.
I mean,
didn't-
you come for the bleachers, you stay for the nose candy.
So basically, you're like, all right, there's this space. What do we do with it? And
It's not just a space. It's a space in a really, really up-and-coming, awesome area of town that almost everybody wants to be at safely, right?
yeah.
We're partnering with Will's Pub. Will's is known for having concerts and cool, funky things themselves, but they can't have really anybody inside. They're having an issue selling capacity crowds. They just lost their outdoor lot where they've been having things called dirty laundry because they just got purchased by a downtown bar guy.
Yep.
So they were
know
looking
that.
for things to do outside, but they didn't know about this lot, which is literally the other block from them. So they're going to be running the bar. We're working with them to do a series of outdoor concerts that are a little bit out of the norm too. Things that make you feel safe. We're looking for chill, fun, safe activities to happen over the next 3 months. And it's right next to Taco China. It's right next to Wally's. It's right next to Pig Floyd's and Tori Tori. So it's in that little stumbling distance couple of blocks that people like to hit up anyway.
Yeah. That's kind of my home ground, so I was selfish and said, pay this man.
Yeah. So, Brendan, speaking of the fact that you are the fun king, and and usually we see you at events, and like I said last time we saw you at Hullabaloo and stuff, and now because of COVID, what has the fun king been doing? Especially like now, events have started back up. You figured out a way to do it safely, but. There was a time there was nothing, and
what does a king of fun do when there's no
when
fun
you're
to be had?
Yeah, during lockdown, what did you do?
We actually, it's been a busy lockdown. We've had one of the busiest years we've ever had. We launched a whole drive-in movie series with Enzian Theater that was selling out in like 15 minutes just because everybody wanted to do it. Now everybody's doing drive-in movies, but so we were just looking at ways to keep people engaged. We have a membership program just like you guys where we wanted to make sure people were still getting value from that and still wanting to support us.
But unlike us, you actually give your listeners
value.
Like whereas we say, give us your money and we promise them the world.
Yeah. They deliver nothing.
And
we keep saying
You're
it's coming. It's
basically OnlyFans, right? Like, is that?
Yeah, it's kind of like
it'll turn to that.
Like I tell all of our listeners, delivery's free because nothing gets delivered. It works. It's just a good model.
Yeah. We were gonna sell digital hot dogs for a while.
Oh my God, I forgot that was a thing.
That wasn't okay, Brendan. I had this idea.
Oh yeah, if you want to buy into something, we got an
Brendan,
idea.
I had this idea. This is no BS. Like probably 15
this
years
was
ago.
A real thing.
Oh, I lost you.
Oh, okay.
No.
Can you hear me now?
He's out on digital hot dogs.
Okay.
Oh, there it is.
Okay. This idea is too good to not. Okay, so digital hot dogs. 15 years ago, I had this idea that we would take a picture of a hot dog any way you want it. I will make this hot dog.
Yeah.
You want anything you want. You want your grandma's severed head on the hot dog. I will Photoshop her severed head on the hot.
Yeah.
It's a digital hot dog, and I'll send it to anybody.
Yeah, but then you order it. And you
order
pay
it,
money.
You pay money, and then
it's actually more than a real hot dog.
It is.
Yeah.
It's very expensive.
Yeah.
What was the price we settled on? Was it $19?
It was $19 for a digital hot dog, and really, like, we only have about 20 different options because we do them all beforehand.
And my Photoshop skills are rudimentary at
So
best.
we got only mustard. We got mustard ketchup, only ketchup. We got mayonnaise.
I got a plain
relish.
dog.
Yeah. There's like 15
Chicago.
different combos. Anyway, $19. You get emailed to you.
You get an email to you, and you can't eat it. That was my business idea.
$19.99. You might as well just lean into it, right?
Yeah,
right.
I
Yeah.
guess.
There's
It's like
fees, credit card fees. This is why the Fun King knows.
And that's what I do too. Is when I have the gun in my mouth, just lean into it.
It's hot.
So Brendan, with doing events, how obviously it seems like everybody has all right, we wear masks when you're around everybody 6 feet apart.
Oh.
Hold
on, let me write this.
Well, I'm just saying there's the CDC
Mask. How do you spell mask?
has said this is what you have to do, and then just build your event around that. It's like everybody wear masks and stay 6 feet apart, and then if you're drinking or eating or whatever, just stay amongst your people. And that's
what does that mean? White people with white people only?
That's just
God.
the people you came with, your family and friends.
Again. He goes on these things where I just wish everybody would stay with their kind. It's very odd.
Always about race with you guys. I don't know what happened.
I know.
But then it's all right, as long as we do that, then that's what the science is saying to do.
Before
and you can do
COVID,
it.
I swear to you, he told me he saw no color. But something's changed.
But that's basically it.
Yeah, you lost your sense of color.
I can't color anymore.
But that's basically it, Brendan, right? It's that's what you have to do to stay safe.
Yeah, they have a whole list, which is funny that people just hate lists. There's people, the same people that don't like wearing masks are usually people that, don't like wearing condoms or don't like wearing clothes.
Well, hold on. Let's not get crazy.
Yeah, condoms.
Nobody likes condoms.
This is not 1970 anymore, Brendan. That's condoms.
I can't wear those things,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. They feel different. It doesn't feel the same.
I can't. I'm like a lady. I'm like a woman that bought a dress that has darts in the top. I don't fill it out.
No.
You know
It's
what
baggy.
I mean? Yeah, it's baggy. Who wants that? You don't. She
You have to
doesn't
put a
want that. I
rubber
don't
band
want
on
that.
the
Nobody
end.
wants that. Nobody wants that. So I don't.
Real news guy. What are we talking about?
You have to be a busty woman to wear darts in the front. You just have to. You have to fill it out. Sam can do it. My wife can't.
Yeah.
Same thing with condoms.
Yeah.
I cut the tops off all of them.
So, what else, Brendan? As far as Orlando goes, and we'll be talking soon because we just got back from a meeting, and I think we definitely got to get Brendan a pod because he's a fun king and he's got to be at.
Now you're
this
just
thing.
now you're leaking the event
Sorry.
on a show.
Anyway,
Oh,
We're doing an event.
So,
We're going to space. SpaceX.
how
if it's not you dancing, I'll get my singles ready, Dan.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm in.
Brendan, have you seen so far the friends that we know that own bars and restaurants and stuff? They're moving along, and they're obviously been hurt real bad by COVID, and we're still telling everybody hey, support these guys. They are basically
something as simple
treading water.
is just running through there for a package service for alcohol.
Yeah.
Can really boost and help a bar.
But I feel horrible for especially all the new restaurants and bars and stuff that open just the bad luck timing.
Yeah.
It's then
There are people doing grand openings this weekend.
Yeah.
And-
Well, now it's at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's February of last year, especially when there was a time where it's don't go anywhere, no business anywhere. And
It really reveals the importance of having a following before you even open. People who just hinge on just opening cold open.
Good.
Thinking people are just going to show up. Man, if people don't even know who you are, you're in trouble. You need to start mobilizing the minute you start signing leases.
Yeah, that's smart. You know what? A lot of people, I think now, because I've never really thought about that. You're right. You need to have all that stuff organized. You need to have all your branding and your names correct. So you're, like you said, easy to access, obviously, on the web. I had some friends that, when this whole thing started happening, that were scrambling just to get online up and running, a way to order. You know what I mean? And it's
that was a huge rush.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people, a lot of website designers were making some bank right at the beginning of the pandemic, just helping out their favorite local restaurants and bars trying to get online, people who had just had a Facebook before.
right.
Brendan, as my fun mentor,
Wait, he never agreed to that.
I thought he did.
I'm in. You can be my funny-one.
Okay, there it is.
Oh,
Yeah,
all right.
yeah.
Okay, you're nerding out now.
Yeah, I don't know what that means.
Oh, my funny-one.
Is that some sort of Asian joke?
Always raised
Time.
with you.
Yeah.
So
There's tentacles.
teach me how to have a better outlook on
On what? On COVID?
No, on day-to-day fun, because it seems like you
Okay,
got a fun headband on, a wig, and I don't have anything.
You wear headbands.
Yeah, we just did a walkthrough for something that's gonna be fun.
But my
you
hair.
didn't say one word in the ride there with the four
That's
of us.
true.
You
Yeah.
didn't say one word on the way back.
It's not for chit
You
chat.
didn't make any jokes, no small talk, no pleasantries. You didn't make fun of any of the homeless people we saw as we were driving back to the studio like I did.
Well, that's fun for Tom.
I don't know.
You
what-
know?
I was looking at
Intriguing.
Yeah, he just
I was
looks at his
answering
email, and you
emails.
look at the same email over, and you're staring at it. And I'm like, I think he's just avoiding all of
I'm
us.
trying to do math in my head. Yeah. Maybe it's like I'm not opening myself up for.
What do you find fun?
Well, that's the problem. It's that, I don't
There's gotta
know.
be a couple things.
I don't know. I like gambling,
you like-
but it's not really fun for me. It's only stress, and even if I win, I'm mad that I didn't bet enough.
You're just
That's true.
You're just
That
gonna
is
die
true.
young from stress. You need to be careful.
I've been telling him this.
Now, yeah, like I think about that, and I'm like, well, do I put the wig on? Well, how do I have fun?
Well, do we have any wigs here? I feel like it'd be a good
might.
I feel
start.
like I'd just be
Okay.
mad with a wig on.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna do. Here's what I'm gonna do. This is the Friday
I just
show.
want to see Tom mad with a wig on.
Do I have to, like, maybe every morning I'll
Change your wig up.
No, like I'll dance out of my bedroom
Yeah.
like Ellen.
Like
or something.
Ellen, are you gonna straddle the coffee table?
But she's mad. She's mad like me.
That's true.
She's mad at everybody.
Well, then you gotta
So it's
yell.
a false fun.
And then you gotta yell at your sons and say, "Don't look me in the eyes. I'm a god."
Yeah, she's not even fun. She's mad. Like Brendan is actually fun. Like it's not an
Okay,
act.
pop quiz, hot
Am
shot.
I though? Inside, I'm just crying. You know.
All right.
There it is.
Now I'm happy.
That's what I was gonna ask. What is the
That's how I know what to say to you, buddy. There's no happiness.
What is
There's no
the-
happiness in you.
what's the final horrible thing or the last horrible thing that happened to you?
Why would you?
And
say
what
that?
was your reaction?
Come on, come
You
on.
really want it? Do you really want
No.
the most horrible thing that happened to me? Do you really want to hear that?
No.
Why would you say that?
Because I figured out during the show that you like terrible things. And we got to get out of here.
Plug
now.
that event one more time.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
plug
So
the event.
where do people get tickets? How? Yeah, let's talk about it.
It's called Carlotta's Culture Park because it's a car lot. Carlotta's Culture Park. Type that into bungalower.com and then you'll be up to date on everything that we're going to be doing over the next couple of months.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
I love it.
And before we go, Busdecker, he has something weird about it.
Yeah,
He's not.
that
He can.
guy-
No one can be that.
He's fun too.
Oakley dokley.
I saw him walking around our studio sometimes and sniffing like he's trying to check to see all the marijuana smoke pouring out of him.
No, that's a cop in him.
Yeah, I see.
He's a hair sniffer too. You got to be careful.
Oh, sleepy bus.
Oh, I knew it.
I knew he was one of those guys. Okay.
Yeah. That's another reason why I wear wigs, just to protect myself.
Oh my
He's
god.
sniffing your wig.
Yeah, throw him off the
He's
scent.
a wig sniffer. Ew, that
I
sounds
knew it.
terrible.
All right.
Okay, well, we love you, man. We can't wait to hopefully get you back in here soon. And
We got you. There's going to be a little Tom and Dan and Sam spot on the bleachers. We'll have your name on it.
I love it.
Come on in. We'll get you on the list. Come and see some wrestling this Sunday.
Cool.
You got it, man. I'll talk to you soon. Take care.
All right.
See ya.
Be good. That is Brendan O'Connor live from his office. I
Fun
think.
station.
It looks
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
Everything around him, he had like knickknacks and little fun things. That's another thing. Your desk, it has no fun in it. It has not a
Yeah.
picture of your wife. Nothing.
Well, Crystal did put up
no,
the
that's
pictures of my
not you.
sons.
That does not count.
Yeah, but it's just a
The
pile.
pictures of your sons are babies. They're grown men now.
It's piles of old stress. That is, they're not even events.
There's a pile
Last
for your
year-
grandfather still in the
Yeah,
desk.
yeah. That's yeah. Well, that's I
You
look
still
at it
working on
stress.
that?
Yeah. Still.
Do you look at it and you're like,
almost
oh, God, where is it? I lost my grandpa.
yeah. It's to remind me, and then of all the things
like,
I didn't
oh,
button
okay.
up. Anyway, bye. Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Samantha, our producer's here. Butler is here. And hey, everybody, welcome to the show. We're glad to have you.
Yep. If you go to tomanddan.com, basically everything's on there, a hookups page, a way to subscribe to become a BDM. And then when you're a BDM, we got our free app. You just search Tom and Dan in the App Store. It pops right up.
We give you guys a lot of stuff. There's extra content on there, BDM shows that you can sign up for. For a little bit of extra dough a week, you can get extra shows, behind-the-scenes videos, custom content that only we give to BDM members.
An opportunity to buy things first, like maybe
like
some
studio
tickets.
equipment that we might be liquidating because we're in a bit of financial trouble.
Yeah. I usually go onto the BDM Only Facebook page, and then I try to give out the stuff that I don't want it, too lazy to drive to the
like
dump.
right now, I believe we have a fog machine on there and a few other items that Tom has probably borrowed from other listeners.
But we're not going to talk about any of that. What we will talk about is one of our favorite people. I know that she makes me happy every time we talk to her because she's got such a bright
Haven't heard you
outlook
ever
in
say
life.
you're happy.
I know it's nice to be able to meet a woman that can make you happy. And I've also Butler cut that out and sent it to his wife.
Oh, don't do that.
Please.
Oh, Crystal knows.
Yeah. What do you mean? She's the one that told me.
But on the line with us right now, our good friend Jana Shelfer. How you doing, Jana?
Hello, I'm so good, you guys. But guess what? My husband has COVID.
Oh,
Yes, I was going to talk to you about
God, he caught the imaginary disease.
So I follow you on social media.
Oh, no, I hope he's okay.
And so do a lot of our listeners, and they have been talking about it in our chat room. I know Tracy is like, hey, they've been talking about
I
Jason
honestly
got
just
COVID.
found out today. I didn't know. I'm so sorry.
And he had to go to the hospital.
He's had COVID pneumonia.
Yeah, so did my husband, yeah.
That just
That's
happened to
exactly-
Samantha's husband.
Yeah.
And he had to go to the
It has
hospital.
been the weirdest thing. He woke up one day. Actually, I was in a snarky fight with one of my friends, which is very unlike me. It is very unlike me to get into a fight with one of my friends. But we were fighting and we were on the phone, and it was one of those moments where it was really tense and it was mic drop, like, ha ha, take that.
Yeah.
And it got silent, and right at that silent point, Jason coughed all the way across the house because we've been quarantining even from each other because I don't have COVID. And she, over the phone, heard him cough and said, "You need to get him to the hospital now."
Really? Now what?
Huh.
How did it start, Jana? I know.
Snarky phone detective.
I know, right?
Well, did he just come down with something, and then I'm sure you went and got tested and found out it was COVID, and then decided like, all right, we're gonna quarantine at home, and is that kind of how it went down?
Yes. And so we've been quarantining at home, and it was on day 7. It was day 6 that my friend said, "You need to get him to the hospital." And I said, "Okay, in the morning, I'll take him to the doctor." And sure enough, we get up extremely early, and it was 4 a.m. in the morning, and he couldn't breathe. He could not breathe. And we ended up in the ER.
My God.
Now, Jana,
I am so, we're obviously very, very happy to hear that he got there.
Right.
And,
Yes.
my God.
I imagine because there's a similarity here that that maybe makes sense, because I'm thinking, Samantha, she's had a tough upbringing, which makes her a tough person, right? She is very tough.
Yeah, she can adapt. I mean, I don't worry about Samantha as much as I worry about myself sometimes. Samantha can take care of herself.
And Jana is a very tough person.
Great, bring it on.
Her whole life and what she's accomplished.
What are you saying about our husbands?
No, nothing. But I'm saying you may be tougher
smart.
on them.
No, they're smart. Their husbands, you're smart
So-
because you hitch your wagon to an independent
That's
woman,
true.
and you get a little more.
So I'll talk about this. Like anytime I got sick in the past, obviously pre-COVID, my wife would always make fun of me,
Oh,
talk talk to me.
Well,
yeah,
maybe.
Because I'd complain about how sick I was.
Well, men
and
are
she's like,
notoriously bad patients when it comes to being sick.
and then she'd be like, "You're such a baby. It's just a flu or whatever the hell
You
I had."
disgust me.
Yeah, she's
I don't
like,
love
"You're
you
weak."
anymore.
Yeah.
I've never loved you.
She's like, "I just had what you had, and I was working. Not even complained one time.
I love you, but I'm not in love with you.
And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh God, I'm like I'm a baby about it. Anyway,
sex with you is difficult and uncomfortable.
I did then tell her, I was like, well, you guys have a different pain tolerance because biology and birth and things like that you need to go through. Like I have a less of a pain. I have less of a pain tolerance.
No, you guys have a room inside your vessel where you can make other rooms.
So
that's insane.
So when Samantha's husband got sick, I imagine she was like, get it together. like especially
I gotta go in and make some money at the comedy mines with these two nerd monkeys, idiots.
Because in her scenario, he did obviously he got sick and then they got tested, but he came out negative, so they didn't think he had COVID until he went to the hospital
twice. Tom.
Yeah. So were you, Jana? Are you tough on your husband?
I was gonna ask, what are your blood types? Do you know, Jana?
So many people have been asking me that, and I'm embarrassed to say.
You don't know?
I need to call my doctor and find out because I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay. Yeah, because they're saying that there might be some correlation with like O-type bloods not being susceptible to it, and I'm O positive, and my husband is not. So I'm wondering if maybe you're O blood type and your husband isn't.
I don't know. All I know is that so the first time we went to get tested, I tested negative, he tested positive. However, we've been at the exact same places. We've been together for the last year. I mean, we literally have almost become Siamese twins. We sit at the same table, we eat the same foods, we do everything together.
Yeah, we've heard a lot of the same story, especially when Samantha told her story in the last couple of weeks. People were emailing us like, "Oh, that my wife got it, I didn't."
The doctor I talked to take Maisie to get tested said, "Yeah, that happens a lot."
Yeah. So,
that's crazy.
So, Jana, because your friend said that you need to take him to the hospital.
I guess that ended the snarky fight, I'm assuming.
It leads me to believe, though, you had heard the same coughing, and you were like, he's fine. But it goes back to being tough.
I seriously did not think anything of it. I was like, he's got COVID. Like, what's the big deal? And
you cough. I'm with you, Jana.
Yeah, of course he is.
I like the tough on your husband mentality.
I like the lady. It's like, you need to get him to the hospital. And you're like, why would I take him to the hospital? He's 8 days here with COVID. He's only got a couple more.
Of course he's
not going to take him to the hospital right now. We're in the middle of a fight. Come on, Tammy.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go.
Get it together.
And then literally that very next morning, he woke up and he was having trouble breathing. And I was like, okay, the signs are all there.
I better call Tammy and have you cough on the phone.
I need to get him to the hospital.
I do like that you waited till the next morning. Like, you're like, I ain't gonna wait. I'll see what happens.
I have always liked that. My wife's like that because she's not a go to the hospital type of person. Like, you know that. And it has always been laughable to me that, like, I could be standing there and there's just blood spraying out of my leg.
I like it.
And she's like, well, let's just,
just wait it out.
She'll put it on there and she's like, okay, we got you. Calm down. I got you some ice chips and some ginger ale. Just chill out, and we'll go see about it in the morning. Morning.
So, Jana, most importantly, how's he doing right now?
So he came home from the hospital yesterday.
Okay.
So now he is back home, and they have like this. I don't know if Samantha, this is how it is for you, but they literally have we have all the contraptions that they had at the hospital. So they have one of those
I know what that is.
Pulse
oximeter
things, and we have to take his oxygen levels, and then we have to email it to the doctor twice a day. And it's at-home healthcare is what it is.
We had to buy our own equipment from Walgreens.
So, Jana, okay, this let's talk about this because
Nurse Jana, that's not bad. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Because in an effort to talk to people like yourself and like Brendan, like I said, the Fun King from last week, I'm fascinated and I want to learn from you guys because.
Wait, are you saying funking? Or Fun King.
Fun King.
Fun King. These guys doing old Ron and Ron jokes. Yeah. Next thing you
That's
know,
what happens.
he's gonna pull out his Mo Fugger malt liquor jokes from JRR.
I do have a joke line.
Shout
you
out,
can call.
shout out to Dave Green and CJ.
I got a 1-800 joke line here.
Oh.
It's just recording of me telling you jokes.
How do you make a tissue dance? You put a little boogie in it. Hey-o.
Yeah.
Boom! Ow!
Oh man, what are you doing?
Anyway, I forgot my question. I have no idea.
You want to learn from
Oh
her.
yes. All right.
Yes,
So-
Mandy, yes, of course. That's where I was. Eureka.
So Jana, how
Yeah.
do you? Okay, this situation obviously super stressful. Like you have to take your husband to the hospital now with full blown COVID,
Right.
and it's scary. And then you can't have any visitors. Samantha, like that's even crazier.
Yeah,
It's
they
like
won't let you in there.
You can't visit him, and then he's in the hospital. How do you maintain a positive attitude? Or do you? Or is this a dark time? Like that was a dark time and you do get sad and depressed. Like it just, in my mind, Jana is always happy and always positive.
Don't put that pressure on her.
Well, I don't know. How do you do it?
So Samantha, I don't know about you, but I wasn't able to go into the emergency room. I actually had to stay out in the parking lot. And then when he was in the hospital, I wasn't able to go into the hospital either. However, y'all know that I'm a paraplegic. And so at
What?
Oh!
I just thought you liked sitting.
Oh my God! I just thought you were the laziest person in the earth. We're so stupid.
Sorry,
I'm so sorry.
sorry.
You know what? You should not be our friend.
No, she
Yeah,
So
you're too
at
good for
one
us.
point, I went up to the hospital to take him an overnight bag
Yeah.
because he wanted a phone charger and some clean underpants
There you
and
go.
I did that,
all
yeah.
those, a toothbrush,
Sure.
some of those necessities. And when I went in, they thought I was a patient. So I was like, oh,
Wait a
I'm going
minute.
to sneak up and go see him.
That's like racist
So-
or something.
Security's a little lax at hospitals right now.
Yeah, you just wheel right into the COVID unit.
I did. I just wheeled right in, and I got all the way
Catwalked
to
right
the
to the
elevator. And then
It's
I
fine.
got
She's on
stopped.
wheels. Leave her alone. Let her be. Jesus Christ. I mean,
But
so
no,
you,
I will say that, I've talked a little bit about it on my morning Facebook group, that I think there's one component to this whole pandemic and the COVID thing, and that's the isolation. Because I really think there is a psychological aspect to it. I know from myself, when you isolate yourself, it's very easy to get lost in your thoughts, and you can go into a doom loop. You can jump into that rabbit hole if you're not careful. If you don't continue being connected somehow to people. And I know for Jason, especially, because he felt that not only could people not come visit him, but he felt like he was in this hospital room and he felt like people didn't really know how he was feeling.
Sure.
So he felt like he was trying to communicate to me, even here at the house. I'd be like, how you feeling? You doing okay? On a scale of 1 to 10, where you at?
Yeah.
And he kept trying to match my energy level and almost tell me what he thought I wanted to hear. So he'd be like, a 4.
To not scare
Like he kept trying to please me
Yeah.
almost. But in reality, his 4 was more like a 1 or a 2.
Sure.
And he wasn't able to communicate or articulate what he was feeling. So he felt really alone. So I've been doing a lot of writing, and I've been doing a lot of speaking in the past week. And my thing is, there's a difference between being lonely and a loneliness. And I think this pandemic, we've been experiencing a lot of a loneliness where we know that we're surrounded with loved ones. We have all these connections through digital media. We know that people are there for us. It's just we feel isolated. We
Yeah.
feel alone. There's
Yeah.
a small distinction there.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that.
I thought about that too, because as much as we're I hate to use the word lucky, but if you think about it, like if this pandemic happened in the 90s, first it'd be harder to tell everybody what to do because there no, the late night news or anything. But
well, I'd have on longer shorts
yeah,
for
but
sure, because that would have been the style.
no FaceTime and those kind of things, and with like Zoom and everything that's kind of kept humanity connected.
yeah.
I would have been on
But-
my AOL Instant
But
Messenger.
it's still not the same
Yes,
either.
I bet there's human beings probably have we're a communal animal, right?
Yeah.
So we want to be
tribal.
in social situations around other animals like ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
right? And we can kind of fake it. What do you think? A scale from 1 to 100%. What do you think FaceTime and Zoom connectivity? Like if it gives you like those endorphins or those feelings of like, oh, I'm talking to friends or whatever, but through a video screen,
Can I tell you something?
25% of actual reality. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe less. I don't like Jan. I don't know how you are, but I'm not
Talk to me.
I'm not a big FaceTimer, even with my family. Like when my wife tries to FaceTime me, even with my daughter, it's more of a hassle because I'm just like, oh God, take forever. You know what I mean? Like just hammer out the text of what you need to tell me. And then let me text you back. I'd rather see you face to face. I know that sounds weird, but I'd rather actually see you than play this weird phone game.
But what I'm saying is for the people you don't see.
No, I know. I'd
like,
rather just text them.
But like I have noticed, like my friends in Miami, when we jump on a Zoom call every once in a while, whatever, there is something you get from it. Where you get like
seeing someone's face,
Yeah, and if-
facial expression.
I'm always acting.
Feels
though. I'm
good.
Like, hey, what's up? You know, I'm like,
Over the
hey,
top.
how's it going? How's your day?
But it's got to be
Nobody wants that.
25% of the actual feeling you'd get if you were
Yeah.
actually in person.
I bet it's less. Well, it is. It's probably less for different people. It's less for
Right.
me. I know that.
Daniel, I made a video on my YouTube page of FaceTiming with my nephews, and there's a lot of like, you're up close and you're making faces, and just kind of exactly what you were acting out.
genuine.
Well, my
there.
daughter will just leave me. Like if we're FaceTiming, my daughter will be like going to dance, and Andrea thinks it's a great idea on like Mondays and Fridays to FaceTime in, and I take the FaceTimes. I'm not a D-head. I'm not a jerk. I'm just explaining to you how I think it's sort of a waste of time. Even the connection sometimes, I'm just sitting there, I'm like, come on, I got work to do.
Right.
Come on, woo, and then it's like, okay, hi. So like, then Maisie will be like talking to me, hey daddy, I'm going to dance, and then she'll just set the phone somewhere in the house and just walk away. And I'm just standing there and
She
waiting.
don't have time for you, old man.
Waiting for my wife to find her phone.
She's a busy woman.
I know.
Hey, Tom, you mentioned one other thing. You mentioned the word lucky. And it's funny that you mentioned that, because that's another thing that I have found is keeping my mental space in a positive direction, is that I'm realizing that everything that happens to us, even if we think it's a negative thing or the worst thing that could happen to us, there's actually a positive outcome. And let me just explain that. I recently renamed my podcast Living Lucky. And it just so happened that this week Jason gets COVID, and someone wrote me a text like, oh, maybe you should rethink this name, Living Lucky.
That was me. I was
ever
being a
since
jerk.
You did it. Maybe all this,
I was like,
oh,
great
this
name,
stuff is
Jana.
happening.
Can't be that lucky.
Yeah, how lucky are you now?
Right?
Suck it.
But I actually think the opposite. I think that there are positives that come out of it. You just have to find them. For example, Jason's been working 2 jobs for the last year. He's been working his regular job, plus we've been building the Jana and Jason brand together.
Yeah.
And we've been saying, there's no way you can keep up this pace. Like, it's time that you either poop or get off the pot.
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, but this was a perfect time to not get COVID, but it was a perfect time to have a wake-up call and to say, okay, you know what? We need to make some decisions here, and we need to have a time to reset and recharge and rejuvenate. And so there's just like little things, if you can find the I don't want to use the word blessings, but if you can find the little gems inside the things that you think are the crappiest things ever, I'm actually finding in my life that's been my message. You look back and you're like, oh, I thought that was the worst thing that could have ever happened to me at that time, and then you look back and go, oh, you know what? That's really what made me who I am.
Yeah.
That's a hard thing to do, Jan.
I'm not. Go be honest. I'm not good at that, am I?
Do you think?
I'm not good.
Well,
at that.
because I think a lot of society, and I'm guilty of doing this. I think a lot of people are, and that's why anytime I talk to you, Jana, it helps me get out of that. You start dwelling on everything, the negative of everything. I'll be like, I didn't win the lottery today. Yeah, I didn't even play. I was mad that I didn't win.
But you did it today when you were
red light. God.
Well, you were crunching numbers in the car, and then you were saying, I'll use a real life example. Remember, he said something about you were like, I'm driving myself crazy. I shouldn't think about it. And I'm like, no, it's a positive. You're not driving yourself crazy. You're really good at what you do, and the fact that you go through all of these little checks and balances to protect us, your employees, your business partner, and your company. Please know that we appreciate that.
I don't care.
So, but I know Jana knows what I'm saying. Jana, he was
mad. You get it.
Jana, he was mad at something he did great. He's really good at organizing an event and not dropping the ball.
Yeah, but it is driving him crazy.
It is, but
bad for his health.
But that's also a different conversation. Because handling that, he's going to have to do something about it.
Okay, that's a point. Okay. Let's talk about
How does
this,
she
Jana.
handle it?
Because
okay,
you got so much going on. You're building your brand. You're doing all the social media shows I see
and
on
scuba, skydive.
Oh yeah,
flying all around. You're doing something everywhere. You're doing an adventure.
Yeah. So with all this work, and I know you're a driven person, does it consume all your thought? Do you think about it all the time? And then to that point, by thinking about something and obsessing about it, sometimes there's a burnout where you're like, God, this is
can't do it anymore.
I'm just obsessing about this particular thing, which is success of your show or what you need to do to build or get bigger or make more money. All these different plethora of things that you think about, and then it slowly becomes wearing you down because it's just a constant thing. How do you become not worn down by your drive?
Okay, so I can't even believe I'm saying this one. But do you guys remember when iHeartRadio, when we worked there together, and they had this big campaign where they would say, less is more.
Oh, that's my favorite.
More. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
We're like, oh, stop saying that.
That's when I realized giant corporations were just scam artists, but billionaires. It's like, hold on, you're telling everybody less is more? People are buying
Jana's
it?
feed is breaking up.
It's you're saying less is more, and then people are buying it. I'm like, oh my God.
You mean my commercials are smaller and I pay the same, but I'm getting more out of them? This is genius.
This is a car. You're shuffling the cards and telling someone to pick the red one. The red one's not even there.
Okay, so it's gonna sound like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth here. I took almost all of January off, believe it or not, because I kind of just stepped back and I decided to just kind of get still and try to really get grounded again.
Yeah.
In one aspect, I do think about my brand and my business and where I'm going all the time. I think about it when I'm going to sleep. I dream about it. I'm waking up in the middle of the night and I get these, I call them my divine downloads, where I'm like, oh, I just had that thought. I better write it down because that's something juicy and it's good and it's coming from somewhere that's bigger than me. So I better write that down. I'm thinking about my business, my brand constantly. I think that's because I'm close to being on my purpose. I'm close to getting where I call my North Star. It's feeling like it's almost like every experience that I've ever had up until now is all starting to align and come into where I'm supposed to be going.
That's exciting, right?
Yeah, it's exciting, and it's almost like for so long.
Tom's really confused right now, Jana.
In fact, this whole past year,
when you
I've
said
kind of,
North
if you look
Star,
at-
he wrote what appears to be some North Star on a piece of paper, and then he wrote Google North Star.
What dawned on me too, right? Well, as
Who's
you're
Dawn?
talking, Jana, is you mentioned purpose, and I think that's a good place to start. Is find
What's your purpose, Tom?
some purpose, because that makes sense. Where if you have a purpose, or you know what your purpose is, then anything you work towards that purpose is a win, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Think of, have you ever been to a county fair
Oh,
and
my
you
cat has he
ride
been? He was
the
born in
swings?
one.
No, the swings, that stupid one ride that'll make you puke.
Oh,
and
the
you get on-
death
yeah,
machine.
Yeah, where it's just, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so you get in a swing. If you're sitting in the swing, you're on the outside and you're working so hard, right? Because you're swinging on you're on the centrifugal force, the very outside.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
You're
whipping
wide.
you out. And the cracky is he's whipping you good.
Yeah, he's smoking a cigarette. He's checking his text messages until the Iron Maiden song runs out.
Right? He's like going to get a hot dog.
Yeah.
He's like, I'll be back. But then if you look at the pole that the swings are actually on, like it doesn't even get dizzy. It just spins, right? And it doesn't even get dizzy. It's barely working. So I feel like this whole year I've been trying to. I started at the end of the swing, and I'm slowly like climbing to become the pole. I want to become the pole.
Gotcha. So it's not whipping you out over
No whipping, only poles.
the
Yeah.
the other Volusia County Fair
Because
customers.
if you go out there too far, you'll hit the
yeah.
funnel cakes. You'll never come back.
I need to work on that one, don't I?
Good. I like
I
that.
liked it. No whip and become the pole. It made perfect sense.
Yeah, don't whip. Don't be the swing that's full of vomit
Yeah.
and puke
Move the swing.
and all that stuff. Be the pole.
Jana, I'm curious, okay, because you are a social media influencer, right? That is a job that you currently are, and that we know
without
a
a
lot of
doubt.
people that are social media influencers. So with that job comes a freedom to program your content whatever you see fit. Like,
True.
there's no rhyme or reason to any of it, and it's your decision.
It's your story to tell.
And you can do whatever you want. So with that, with your guys' show, did you fall into a schedule that it worked for you, or you saw your audience like?
Yeah, I love it when they do the morning stuff because I'm up.
How do you? Because it's weird with the stuff we do. It literally, this is how lazy we are. We started the Friday Free Show podcast. How many years ago? 11 and a half years.
11 and a half.
11 years ago, and we've never changed the structure, or we changed the time one time. It was hard for us,
Yeah.
like from 2 to 12.
Oh, God.
That was the
Yeah,
only change in
yeah.
11 and a half years.
People still complain about it.
And then the corporate time show that we're doing, it's been the same for a long time.
6 years, 7 years.
And so that's been the schedule, and I couldn't imagine what we do if someone like took everything and said, like, hey, make your own schedule of shows. I don't know what the hell it'd be. It's like we fell into this, and then we just stick into what worked. I don't even know if it works, but
Yeah.
for you guys, when you totally have to make up your own schedule, how does that work? Like, I'm always curious about that.
We started going. We get up very, very early, and we started going live on Facebook because we started going live at 6:50 in the morning because Jason has another job that he works during the day.
Yeah.
And his morning meeting starts at 7:30. So we needed to be done by 7:30. And so that's why we started at 6:50. And now we've just kind of developed this little community that meets at that time. So that's how that one started, and I actually kind of like it because it's having coffee in the morning with my friends.
Yeah.
It's sort of that feel. And then our podcast, That one has kind of fluctuated a little bit. It started out every day and we were just doing it to get better. And the thing is as we've been finding ourselves and our platform and what we're doing, what we're building, we've been throwing out a lot of stuff. And not all of it works and not all of it has been working for us. But everything that we're doing, we're not only getting better, but we're breaking through some limiting beliefs. We're breaking through technology problems that we've been dealing with. We're constantly just making ourselves better.
Would you say that a lot of these things you're trying, because Tom and I talk about this too, it's easy for you and I, Tom, to get in our comfort zone in here and just do this and not sometimes try
try something new that makes us uncomfortable.
And this has kind of been a theme like this week or end of last week. You and I have been talking about, hey, let's just try this or let's just try that. Do you find sometimes when you go to try those things that initially it is very difficult for you to get past that, almost that little bit of apprehension or that fear of looking stupid or not delivering on something that, like right now, I know that I can talk to Jana with Tom and Sam and deliver a product that will be consistently this way.
Yes,
all of the time. But when I try these other things, that guaranteed end result is not a guarantee any longer. It's not. Is that what happens?
And that has been part of my learning curve, is not being afraid to fail.
Yeah.
I have failed, and like I said, for me, it's failing forward. I have put myself out there, and they have not all been successes. I mean, I did a comedy show where people were like, get this girl off the stage. She's terrible. And I was terrible. But I did it.
No, where was that?
I did it.
Oh my God. Why would Tom say that to you?
No, I'd never say that. But also,
I did it. And that's the thing, is here's part of my thing, Daniel. It's funny that you bring that up, is I realized that the reason that it's taken me so long to put myself out there again was that I'm a perfectionist and I like to be the best at everything I do. I like to succeed. And it's hard to try new things when you expect to be the best.
Yeah.
How do you try new things when you expect to be the best all the time?
Yeah, success in a lot of ways.
You have to be willing to put yourself out there. You have to be willing to look stupid. You have to be willing to say, okay, I'm hosting a room tonight and there's only one person in there and it's my husband.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm doing it. And you know what? If I do it tonight and I do it for the next 7 days, then there's probably going to be 2 people in there by next week.
Yep.
And then it just exponentially starts getting bigger. And you know what? 5 years down the road, I'm going to have one hell of a story to tell.
Yeah. No, I like all of that because I get too comfortable and then I don't want to try things. Because it's easy, and it feels good to just kind of sit back. But it also feels good to try stuff and fail. And I'm trying to get my daughter past that point of knowing that she's in this weird thing now where she has to win everything.
No, yeah.
And I like that. I hate it. I absolutely hate it because I don't think you learn anything from winning, really. You learn from failing and messing up.
Here's a tip for you, or for me. I learned this the hard way. I actually got involved in politics at the beginning of COVID.
Uh-oh.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, it was my hometown politics in Belleville, Kansas. And because of COVID, it was all happening virtually. And I thought, I'm going to get involved and I'm going to speak out. And I started speaking. And I had one of those moments where I spoke my mind and I said, who's with me? And nobody.
No. What did they do? What, were you on a Zoom call and they were just sitting there silent?
A Zoom call with 200 people.
Okay.
And everyone was like, in fact, 100 people had like their blank screens, and there was like, and then someone started playing the fight song. Someone started playing da na 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 da da da, and I was like, oh God, and I started crying.
Oh no!
I started crying, and I was like,
Jana.
this is
Why are
like
you
the worst
laughing,
moment
Tom?
ever. And when I got off, I actually roared. I roared.
What does that mean?
Like a lion.
Scared me.
I roared like a lion, and my husband Jason goes, "Are you okay?"
Oh my
like,
gosh,
what's
you're
happening?"
crazy.
This lion's gonna eat me and I have COVID.
My
I
wife
was
got
like,
crazy.
I don't know what I'm feeling, so embarrassed, and I'm feeling like so
Quick,
like
cough on the
this-
lion.
Yeah, like something's just coming out of me. Something is growing.
What is happening?
And anyway, I go, "Oh my God, what is everybody thinking? What are they saying? Is everybody laughing at me? Are they all making fun of me? Are they all talking about me?" And so what I did was I wrote down, who is everybody? Who is everybody? And do you want to know what?
What?
It came down to 4 people. 4 people, and they were all on that phone call. One was my 6th grade band teacher, Mr. Coocher.
Hold
One
on.
was my-
Hold
Mr.
on, pause.
Coocher?
His name was Mr. Coocher. Oh man.
You embarrassed yourself in front of Mr. Coocher?
One
Oh
was
my God.
Brandon Lapo, who used to like make fun of me on
Oh my God.
on the
Oh
recess
no. Oh,
thing.
you must have
Like,
looked so bad in front of Lapo and the Cooch.
right? I mean, they were people that I'm like, why do I care what they think?
Cooch?
Why do I care?
Yeah. F the
And
Cooch.
why
No, like that.
am I going to let people who, I mean, I wouldn't take advice from them. If I wanted to get career advice from them, would I call Mr. Coocher? Hell no.
That's what I
So
say.
why am I going to let Mr. Coocher keep
I
me
agree.
from becoming this lion?
I'm sorry, I'm crying.
Was Mr. Coocher booing you? What? Like, what, how did you call like a town hall meeting?
You could see the square light up, and it just said at the bottom in really small white letters. It just said the Cooch, and he's like, boo, boo.
I never liked you, Jana. This is the Cooch. Boo.
I mean, wouldn't they like just let you say your piece and everybody gonna boo and then do something?
So we're gonna march. All right, we're gonna march down to Mr. Coocher's house, and we're gonna burn it to the ground. Who's with me? She said, and he's like, boo. Please don't burn my house down, Shelfer. This is the Cooch. Cooch out.
But it's so true. I mean, we all have this everybody in our head. And if you really stop and write it down, it's usually less than a handful of people. And they're usually people that said either unkind things to you in your childhood or people who you wouldn't want to be like anyway.
Correct. Yeah, that's true. You're absolutely true. But and a lot of those messages you receive, like this message of fear that you got when you were on this call, it is a deceptive brain message. It's not even real. It doesn't even matter.
It's not even real.
That's true.
So the trick then is to exchange who your everybody is. And you have to start changing out, substituting that everybody.
Who's your everybody,
for
Tom?
people who you know are going to support and cheer you on.
I don't really support much of what you do.
Yeah, well, I don't care about any of
And
you
my-
guys. I don't,
my-
I don't
I don't
care. I
really
don't care about you.
Oh my God, the lion
that
again.
go crazy. Hold on.
I think Tom pee-peed a little bit.
No. Anyway, I just
You know, I
like
can tell is his colostomy bag is full.
all I care about
You're supposed to change that thing once a day, right?
is my sons and their perception of me, and I want to be their hero, and that's fading because now there's this new guy that they're watching on YouTube, and he does Minecraft videos.
Minecraft Barry.
And he's like this young, he's like a hip hop kid. I think it's like Moose. His name's Moose.
my
but
God.
the 10, it's like Moose 100 or something like that.
What's up, guys? It's
Yeah,
Moose
yeah.
100. I'm
Yeah,
going
yeah.
to give you the fresh deets on Minecraft.
And then they just
Oh,
they
man.
love the Moose. They were watching him, and then and
Well, I
then-
love the moose.
And then I was making Minecraft swords out of cardboard for Max.
Cardboard?
Yeah.
Cardboard.
Because
Don't they have a lightsaber?
Cardboard.
Yeah, but
Jan will bug me out. Only poor kids play with cardboard.
that's all they. And,
Yuck.
And then Jana, give me some
I
father.
still play with cardboard.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
So give me some father advice here, because this morning my wife went to, and I keep telling her, quit going to these cheapo kids haircut places.
Where does she go? P.O.P.O.
It's
Kids
something-
cuts?
it's something like a kid's one, and then she got his Tommy's haircut, and they
What'd she get him?
Oh, the stooge.
No, it's the Judge Doom from Roger Rabbit. It's a
What?
It's a high. It's like
She
a
got
one.
him a Doc Ock.
Yeah, it's a one all the way to a like a puff, a tiny.
He is like he is
Oh,
like Bert's
no.
hair.
It's
Bert
either
Ernie.
Bert or the Judge Doom. And
He's got Bert. It's a cone head
And,
and,
yeah.
then a tuft on the top.
yeah, and
Otherwise known as the
no.
baby chicken
And-
or the giant who got hit on the head and a knot comes up and his hair's on the top.
and then Tommy has my wife's family's genes. They all got big old heads that are grotesquely
Jesus.
they're giant. They're
oh my God, looks like a caterpillar on a potato.
Yeah, I'm not even joking. It's if my wife didn't have hair, their head would be grotesquely
Oh, so
giant.
is Andrea's. Andrea's
Yeah,
head is
so
the
big.
actual real size of the Remax Realty balloons that you see floating around Orlando.
Anyway, so Tommy's got those genes, and they gave him the Bert. And then Max's haircut looks cool. And then this morning, he was literally crying because he didn't want to go to school because he hated his haircut
You gave me
so
the
much.
bird. I can't go to school with the bird.
And then, and so I felt like, and we tried to like,
You
no,
can't
it's fine.
style it to kind
Put
of
a
like
hat
Oh,
on-
Crystal tried.
Put a hat on his head.
You, I mean,
can't wear hats at school.
yeah,
can't?
no, you can't wear
What
hats.
kind of socialist Sleepy Joe nation are we living in now? What is happening? No hats?
Yeah, no hats at
Oh
school.
my God!
Yeah, so anyway, so
I
then
think maybe you should get the same haircut.
okay, that's
you
what
have a
I-
haircut today.
that's what I was saying. I'm swear I'll
Do
show
it,
you a
do
text.
it.
I
Get-
text
get the
Crystal.
Bert.
I said
Get
send me
the Bert.
send me
Get the Bert.
I text Crystal. I said, send me a picture of Tommy's haircut. I'm going to tell John the barber
Yes.
to cut me into
Bert.
this. Although it's
Give me the Bart. Give me the Bart. That's what you need, right
because
there.
of my complexion and my.
No, you look how angry he is.
Yeah.
Bird from Bert and Ernie is
That's
no
right.
fun.
But it's
You're
but
right.
it's yeah,
He's no
You're
fun.
right.
He's like, I'm just business. All I do is business.
Business Bert.
I'm just thinking about this damn event I'm planning. God, I'm so mad.
And then look at I'm Ernie.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I am Ernie.
Wait a minute.
Hold on, we may have just made a new shirt.
but then
We absolutely did.
Oh my God, does that not look like me?
so
Oh my God, we're Bert and
All
Ernie.
right, Pabone, get on it.
Hey, you Bert.
but then Crystal said that I may just be drawing more attention to it because then she's gonna see that my son's gonna see that I look like a T-head.
Oh, hey, look.
And then it's gonna just
Hey,
remind
look, everybody. Dr. Octopus brought Junior Octopus here.
Yeah, because it's like if you get burned and then you got to look at your old man and he's burned too, you're like, oh my God, that's how I look. You know what I mean?
It's funny you brought up bad haircuts because I told my wife last night in Marijuana Rage that I wanted to get my hair cut like Bucky Larson, child star.
The movie,
the movie.
Adam Sandler.
Yeah,
the butt cut.
Yeah, the butt cut.
Don't get that. That's
I want to part it in the center and grow it long again.
this is a question I wanted to ask.
Walla walla bang bang. Ooh ee ooh bing bing bada walla bing bang.
And it probably, God, we went too long. Last question, Jana. And before the last question, tell everybody where they can
Hold on a
find
second. Last question, and before the last question,
There's another question.
one question, Junior. What are you doing?
I don't know how to tell the people to plug. I'm not good at
Yes,
it.
Living Lucky is my podcast, which we just started on all of the podcast
Platforms, yeah.
sites. Yes, that's new because up until last week we had only been airing that on our YouTube channel. JanaShelfer.com is where you can find all of our different platforms. And if you want to catch our morning live
It's awesome.
connection, it's at 6:50 on Real Jana Shelfer. That's on Facebook.
Yep, it'll pop right up. If you've gone in there before, like I don't know how Facebook knows that, but since I've dabbled, it will just pop it up. So it's like you're the first thing I see every morning when I load up Facebook, which is pretty cool.
I love that.
Facebook can be a pretty nasty spot. I don't always pop in, but at least I can have you in the background when I'm scrolling. And the chat room's really upset that it took them 11 years to figure out that you and I are Bert and Ernie. Because Ernie is super fun and happy-go-lucky, and Bert is borderline psychotic, crazy person
No, he's
Yeah.
not.
who is completely emotionless.
No, he just likes business, and someone's got to keep Ernie in line. It can't be all fun and games. You're skipping through life eating lollipops. Bert knows that the hard reality is you got to work and you got to be serious, and then you die.
If you guys,
Wow.
you know what? You guys, we should all start a room on Clubhouse. I
Yeah,
know you
you-
guys are toying with it, but I think we should all start a room.
Can we
in
talk
there.
about that for a second? Because you're on there. We got I got a minute.
Okay,
I got
okay.
like roughly a minute.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Clubhouse, do I just start talking into my phone and then other people talk? Because every time I've loaded it up, it's just all people screaming at the same time.
Yeah, you might want to just pop into a few rooms, see how it works. But if you guys started a room on how to have a podcast, I think your following would grow exponentially.
All right.
I think you guys would. And then if you just brought your regular Bert and Ernie selves. If you
He
just
hates
brought
I love
your regular personalities, I know that you guys would be awesome.
I love
But
it.
I'm finding that I go on there and I speak. For me, I love to speak. I'm finding that that's kind of that's my jam. So
Gotcha.
Here's the problem, Jana. Our personalities discredit what we're saying. So it puts us in a situation where
Yeah.
they're like, well, I'm not listening to these idiots because they're obviously idiots.
That's true.
That's a never-ending problem.
Also,
that we have.
our picture, like our little thumbnail picture on Clubhouse, is just Bert and Ernie, so they'll never know it's real humans anyway. So, well, Janet, always a pleasure seeing you. We love you,
love you
and we'll
guys.
see you in a
Thank
month
you
or so. Okay.
much.
All right. See you soon.
Jana.
Take care.
If I can help you out, bye.
All right.
Okay.
Later. That is our good friend Jana, and we got to go, buddy.
Yep, bye-bye.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I am Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha and Butler are here, and you have a burning question, my
No,
friend.
no, well, okay. So, and maybe Samantha can look this up. Do you think it exists? And this is why I was stupid to ask Jana because she probably doesn't know, or maybe she does. Do you think there are people that live their life in a wheelchair that don't need to because that's how they want to live? You see what I'm saying? Like because
I'm sure
man.
it's happened.
like I'm not talking about because they're like have a problem walking or like they they could walk but they'd
there are
maybe
people with like
physically-
Munchausen's and stuff that make themselves sick.
Yeah, and
So it could be what are they pretending that they're handicapped?
Yeah, I
Not-
have,
well, that's the thing.
No,
It's not
no,
like they're
It's not
pretending.
a
They just-
pretending.
they
it's
want-
it's a problem, right?
they want to
Right.
live their life in a wheelchair. But yes, technically they are pretending because everybody, obviously, every
This
sane
actually
person.
happened in a true crime story. Ended up very poorly. The daughter was basically being medicated when she didn't need to be, was forced to be in a wheelchair when she didn't need to be by her mother,
That's
like
like
her
a
whole life.
Munchausen.
Her whole
Okay,
life.
yeah. Ooh.
And then eventually she found out she could walk.
Well, you mean adult choosing of his own,
volition, yeah,
to-
to live their life
I
in a
think
wheelchair.
the answer to your question, and most of the time is I
Gypsy
think
Rose
is
Blanchard.
going to be yes, because people are crazy, and I think
Yeah.
this year of all years, the end of 2020 at least, we all know that we've seen crazy things this year, and anything is possible.
And is that disrespectful to a person that, like Jana, that paraplegic that has to live their life in a wheelchair? I guess it would be interesting to see what
I mean,
Jana
if you
thought
were
about
if
that.
you were throwing it into someone's face, yes, but I don't believe that.
Or if you were taking up like maybe a handicap stall or,
Yeah.
or something where
They
you
need
could
it.
physically
Yeah, but
go
listen,
use something else what they need it.
Beyond that, like let's just say I'm a crazy person. I want to live my life in a wheelchair because I like the way people treat me or something. Who knows why?
Well, Grady
And
brings
then-
up a good point in the Twitch chat room. There's
but
why.
I'm not-
What if I'm so big? What if I don't want to exercise? What if I love eating and I am lazy? And what if I have chosen to become very large? And
There's
look,
a lot of those
well,
people
that's called
at
the
the
Disney
Walmart
movie.
that
no, man,
Yeah,
that's
it's called
what
the
he's
Walmart.
and that's what he's saying though. He's saying that these are people. And
Yeah.
look, and I'm not judging you. If you chose this and you're happy, then I'm happy you are happy. I really believe that.
Yeah.
That's not my life. That's your life. But there are people that choose to consume so much that because they don't want to run, they don't want to exercise, and they just want to get bigger and bigger.
Yeah, but they're in a wheelchair because it's actually laboring for them to walk. And I'm talking about like a fit, regular person just living in a wheelchair. day to day because they prefer living like that. And it's like, and they're not hurting anybody. They're not taking up any handicap spot because obviously they don't have a handicap placard because they're not handicapped, but they just live their life in a wheelchair. I wonder what someone who has to live their life in a wheelchair would think about that.
That you could have asked her. What she would have thought. That would have.
But Jana's too nice. She'd have been like, I don't care what anybody else is probably,
I think that is a thing, and I'll tell you why. I have science to back it up. If men will do documentaries and drive around with real dolls in their car and not be embarrassed of that, then I think somewhere there's a dude that will drive around and then get out of his car, walk to the back, get out his wheelchair, sit in it, lock his car, and wheel it. Because it's just...
There's people that amputate their limbs.
That's what I was going to say.
Because they have...
You took it right out of my mouth. That is fascinating to me, dude.
So I wonder, if you have an amputated limb and then you see someone voluntarily amputate their limb because they have some sort of...
Oh, you'd be pissed.
But I don't know. Would you? I don't care what this person... That's crazy.
It's going to be
do.
case to case. But yeah, I'd be mad at you.
Yeah.
If I were sitting there with you and I had the opportunity, I might throw an insult at you and be like, "Why are you doing that? You're lucky to have that."
Let's switch gears a little bit.
But it's not my business.
Let's talk about
I mean, it's their body, their choice.
But I would say that probably because I'd be like, "I'd love to have your leg."
Let's talk about the documentary you guys watched that I told you about the villages.
I loved it.
What did you guys think about it?
First of all, it is without a doubt the prettiest and most beautifully shot.
The cinematography is good.
Yeah, and what I'm saying, let me clarify. I'm not saying that what they were filming, the subject matter, the landscapes, is super beautiful. It's not. But the way that they present it and the cameras that they use, the lenses, and the way that it's shot with the equipment that they used is probably some of the most creative and nice-looking film footage I've ever seen.
And
I agree.
It's called...
Some Kind of Heaven.
Yeah, Some Kind of Heaven on... Is it Netflix?
We found it on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, I rented it from Amazon as
Amazon
well.
Prime. Okay.
I think it is in certain theaters for release as because for like film festivals and awards. And then it's early release online right now.
I think it's on HBO Max or something because we didn't pay for it.
I think you did, buddy, because I like to find it for free, and I have HBO Max, and it was not coming up.
We texted
because it just came out.
We texted your wife, and she said Amazon, and it was $6.
Yeah.
Everything else, we checked Netflix, everything, Hulu, HBO Max.
Anyway, so what me and Crystal were talking about, and Crystal's always found this disturbing and also to be true based on who she's talked to, and I'll explain. We've heard from elderly people in our lives, like my pop-up has told me this, like her grandparents and stuff, and even people that are older, like our parents and things. We've always heard like them say, I don't feel this old. Like I still have the same brain I did have when I was 20.
Yeah.
And I'm the same personality. And I'm still the same person. I'm just in an older body. And it's so hard for me to comprehend that, which is easier as I get older, obviously. But it's like when I'm 20 and you're seeing someone like my pop is like, whatever it is that's like older, like in their 80s, I just assume like they've graduated or they've evolved into a different person than they were, but they're the same person.
I think that there are, of course, going to be changes and you're going to grow, but I think deep down you are who you are at a certain point, right?
That's what yes, it makes sense. Obviously, that's the truth of it, but it's
documentary-
hard to grasp that.
Yeah.
Like, it's hard to see me thinking and being the same person, but being 80. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, how can it be?
I don't feel like it's that hard to see you at 80. I'm
I
looking
know.
at it.
Like Tracy says in our Twitch chat room, Tracy, one of our most dedicated listeners, watched the same documentary we're talking about, and she said, I might need to move to the villages when I get old. I love the socialization. I will tell you, in watching that documentary, the main idea for me was that I will absolutely never put myself in a community that's only people of my age because I feel like that kills you.
Also, I'm sure you all noticed watching it. It's particularly one set of age group and one race.
Yeah, one race. Yeah, there's
it was
one
all old
muscly
white
black
people.
guy in there. There's
but
one
you know what I
muscle
mean.
man.
Like it's very secluded of maybe richer.
Oh yeah,
older
people
white
have
people.
to have money to live
You
there.
gotta have some kind of diversity
I just
in my
like
life.
that type of
Everyone's the
like-minded
same.
old community. I felt like these people were missing a lot of the stuff that you can even learn from younger people, and I feel like being around younger people, maybe I'm not that old yet, but maybe makes you younger.
Keeps you younger.
Keeps you younger because it looked like they're like now again they're only taking a certain level of subject matter and they pick some characters and some real wild ones.
Yeah.
But I did feel like in looking at them, the one kind of thing that they all had in common is that none of them would have had the experience that they all experienced in the documentary had they not all chosen to park it right there in this big hub of retirees.
Mm-hmm.
It could be good, it could be bad. Like I looked at it and I'm like, that is not for me.
Right.
That is going to kill me because it's too much of a complete bubble. You know, and then it made me start thinking about even living in Baldwin and living in a bubble. You know, it's like getting out of the bubble, I think, is important. And
well, the older you get, I think the more bubbly you want to get. Like you know, like I think you start venturing. Out. It's kind of like
it's extremes, right? You either want the bubble or you want to live way out in the country around no one.
Yeah.
It's one or the other.
So you want to live around no one, around everyone, or around no one here. It's like
I think a nice medium around some people is probably the good.
So
pick.
What made me like I've never experienced. There's a character in this documentary that's just basically a moocher. It's
I'd like to call him an F boy.
Yeah,
he's an old school con man.
Yeah, where he's
can't say it on ACT, but he's trash.
Yeah. And he's like, and we all know
he's
someone
the best character in the show, but yes, he's a horrible individual.
And we all know a character like this we've met in our lives and stuff. Is like
I might have one in my family.
A moocher, a person that's looking for someone else to just take care of them or whatever, and like no matter what it takes.
Who plays
lying to his mother. By the way, how old is his mom?
Yeah,
he sounded coherent as hell, but he's got to be in his 70s or 80s.
He's 82, I think.
Oh my God!
He was 82, and his mom. We said the same thing.
She had it together.
She may be like 97 or something. You know, because
she sounded great.
Back then, she could have had a kid when she was 15 or something.
He's just lying through his teeth to her.
I looked up all of these people during the movie to see where they are now. By the way,
it was weird. I never think they even.
I found them all on Facebook. I found all their real pages.
But it's like for whatever reason you don't think of a personality like that being 82. Probably a lot of them don't live to 82 because they're like bad living or like a happenstance.
And of course his name was Dennis. I'm like, there it is.
There it is.
Or you get your S together at some point, and then
some people never do.
I know, and I'm like, how did this guy? He's 82.
I know a few of those people in my family.
Never got their S together.
Yeah.
But that's what kind of scared me. I was like, oh my God, like this person, I could see the personality.
This would
but
be
he's
you
old.
if you were single.
No, too awkward.
There was a Tom vibe in there.
No.
He
I'm
literally rode on Crystal's coattails through life. She's taking care of him.
Yeah, I mean, how good are you at playing washboard while Crystal sings? That was one of the parts. Why did they cut back to that? They only showed him doing it in the beginning. He's playing the washboard and she's singing, some song, and then he was like singing along.
So how, and this kind of led me into thinking about how the villages work. And I know we have some listeners that live out there in
that
the
work out there too. Yeah.
And I think if you work out there, you could live out there, and that's part of like a perk of something like that. But you don't necessarily don't have to be 55 and older.
I mean,
whatever.
one of the things that I got mad about were the little gates.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when they talk about they put up the gates, but they're like, we're a gated community, but technically there's nothing.
Yeah,
we're not a gated.
Like anybody can come in.
Yeah, so I'm like, well, then tear those things down.
Right.
And I think it's just to deter people just wandering in there. They see that, and then it probably deters some people from even they're like, oh, gate, and then they, I don't know, it's something like that.
Yeah.
And they can get an old person to just
all
wave at someone for free.
It's all selling the dream.
Yeah, and but I want so all the property in the villages. That is, are they building more?
Yeah,
and
continuing
expanding.
You saw at the end they showed.
Yep.
Like they showed all the new stuff being put up now.
And then
the cycle continues.
I'm sure it's probably there's association fees and stuff like that.
Oh yeah,
business.
My father-in-law moved out there last year.
Really?
Yeah.
Some people love it. Like,
could he tell us about it or
no?
No,
He
okay.
won't even talk to me. You think
There
he's going
you
to talk
go.
on the radio?
Back to you, Sam.
I am interested to see how his life has changed since he's been out there.
Because
though.
because they did in this documentary, I don't want to spoil it, but one of the characters didn't necessarily like living there and kind of stuck there and that kind of thing, and so they weren't showing like not everybody is like happy-go-lucky. This is the best place on earth.
Oh, there was a lot of sadness in this documentary. It wasn't the
I thought the majority
swinging, partying villages that some of us locals hear about. This was sad.
I thought the majority of it was
It's real.
sad. Yeah, it
Well,
was.
that's because life. Guess what? It's not all
No.
swinging and partying. There's
No.
sadness and there,
Yeah.
it's all everything. So of course the Village is going to be like that. But yes, it's not the. It's funny how they portray it as like the Disneyland for old people. It's like
Right.
very Mayberry, very Main Street.
Well, they copied it.
Yeah, they did.
The
Yes,
firm they hired, basically.
Which I kind of like that. But I also am like, I don't think I could live there, though.
Oh no, it makes sense.
It's nice to have a sense of community, but
Sure,
but
I mean,
a
we
little
kind of
bit
have
too
that
much
here.
of a bubble.
We kind of have that here in Baldwin in a weird way. It's like some sort of a version of trying to make everything kind of look uniform and sell this kind of this. It's not even real. You're selling
celebration. It's all,
you're selling almost just like an idea of a community where everybody is just a little bit better, and it's just
But that's nice.
doesn't always work out.
No, but it is like the quintessential. You walk, every house looks the same.
Yeah.
It's all everybody's friendly. It's safe.
but
it's,
also, everyone's in your business.
Oh, I
gossip
can
crazy.
imagine. Oh, yeah. Because everybody is
Knows
the same
everybody.
personality that they were when they were 32.
Another underlining kind of theme for me when watching it was to be mindful as I get older on how embarrassing I can become.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah.
Truthfully, like it made me think about Andrea and Maisie and thinking, don't take up.
Oh, yeah,
don't go have a Tai Chi drug freak out.
Oh God,
Pause
that
it.
guy.
Well, I'm just
That poor lady.
yeah, just
Well, that's
we won't go into any more
Toxic
there, but I'm just
relationship.
telling you that story. That's the guy I really looked up hard, and man,
when he was
and
in
his YouTube
He
channel.
made me so mad.
Have you did you subscribe to his
the
YouTube
mental
channel?
illness and
You know what's weird is they showed some of those the more manic videos in the documentary, and when
Yeah.
you go to his channel, which I found, he only has 105 subscribers. Well, 106 after I subscribed.
but
But
it's
real.
Well, I'm surprised. Like he's we're gonna give some of it away, but he's in court and he's talking to the judge. He's being a D head, and the judge is yelling at him.
Well, he's a mental problem.
But
does
I'm
have
like,
Yeah,
why does
it's not has nothing to do with his age.
No,
has
no.
nothing to do with anything. He
But-
is a mental person.
But the judge wasn't
Someone-
treating it like a mental problem, which I'm surprised the judge didn't
Yeah.
recognize immediately that this
well,
guy's
obviously, you have a mental problem.
yeah. So I'm like, he kept saying, "You're the rudest person I've ever
No,
talked
he's
to."
not being rude.
Yeah.
I actually disagreed with that. I
Me
was like,
too. Me too.
I don't think he's being rude. I think what you're
He
seeing
can't
is
ha-
he's having a manic episode, and you're too dumb to pick up on
Yeah,
it.
Well,
that's
not everybody is, trained or susceptible to even picking up on those cues.
But
of
a
how
I
judge,
know, but he
a
wasn't.
judge has to
they
be.
just are worried about the law and how you speak to them.
It's true.
Well, not everybody. Even judges can do their job poorly.
Yes, exactly.
But like the
Free
judge
Britney.
has to be around a lot of mentally ill
You would
people
think.
enough to understand
What if he
he's
doesn't
looking
care,
at.
though?
Maybe he just doesn't care,
Yeah,
which I like.
Also, does the villages have their own police force and
Yeah,
courts?
I think they
And
do.
their own
Not
radio
court, not
station.
Not
court.
court, you don't think?
They have to go to court in the county,
Okay.
whatever. What is that? Is that Osceola?
Honestly, I don't
No,
know.
no,
It's not Osceola.
It's whatever Ocala. What's Ocala? Because it's right near Ocala, so I think it's the same county.
I don't remember.
Anyway,
Apologies. Lake. People are
Is it Lake
saying
County?
Lake
Yeah.
County.
Marion Lake and Sumter.
it's a
It's a tri-county community.
it's a fascinating little spot in Florida that
It
that's
made me want to
world-
go there with you, honestly. It made me want to grab the mobile equipment and go to that town square where they have the statue of the guy that invented the villages and just sit there for a second and just kind of take it in and then just be done with it. Because it's weird. There's something very odd about it.
So obviously it's a business, and the villages like it's a corporation.
Oh, people are saying Marion now. Marion
It's
County.
3 different counties.
Oh, is it
yeah,
all the?
it spreads
so
3
it's in the center.
Yeah.
What do you think? What did the villages corporation make? I mean, are they insanely successful?
No
it
idea.
seems like with that many
It
people,
seems like it would be, yeah.
and because
Was it Hughes, the guy that put it together, and then they showed the son standing with the statue?
I don't remember his name,
because
but
it seems like they
that
get
son, by the way,
they.
just floating in the pool next to Dad.
I loved it. I thought
So
it was great.
weird.
It was great.
It is weird because you think to yourself like, if you
Did
are,
he grow up at the villages as a child and
Must
then
have. He
stayed
probably- yeah, he probably
his
did.
whole life? Oh my God!
But also for a business like the villages, which I assume is like successful, right? Because of,
People are still
population.
moving.
Yeah.
Like we know people that are moving there.
And I assume that they charge a pretty hefty monthly association
Oh,
fee
for
to be,
sure.
so it's like And then for this guy to even
There's probably even like an activities
Yeah.
fee for the classes they have.
why make yourself like you look like a fool floating around in a pool? Like, not that you look like a fool, but it's
I
just
mean,
like
he did.
it's just
So
like
here's
how?
something from our Twitch chat room. Mommy Cray Cray says they pay a CDD for the development of the community. It's sometimes pretty hefty. And then they pay an amenity fee that isn't so high. But that's really no different than here. Like I pay a townhome fee bi-monthly, and then I pay a resident area fee twice a year or so. So yeah, I mean, it really is no different than any other thing, but they,
But-
there are 3,000 different clubs, I guess, in the area that you can join, whether it's rowing or dancing or that tambourine thing looked fun.
But it's also just like
Game for some
there's got to be a
sit-down tambourine club.
there's a certain element of Planet Fitness business model where all these old people, a lot of them are paying for activities they never
Right,
use,
yeah.
because you have to.
Let me throw a question back at you.
Yeah.
When you saw all of these subjects, I'll use the term subjects and I'll stop doing as many specifics because I really was one of my favorite documentaries, and you watch a lot of really good ones. When you saw all these different human beings, did you think that all of them were old enough to live there? Because I did not.
Oh, really?
The eyeshadow lady I thought was too young to be there.
Nah.
I thought that, like, there were certain people. Remember
She was just dyeing her hair.
Remember the tan guy that they interviewed, and he has the picture of his wife who died, and then he slides his new picture. He looked too young to be there.
Yeah.
There are certain people that I understand you're retired. I get it, and you may be 60, 55, whatever.
Yeah, I think
but
you
to
just
me,
need to be 55.
It makes me feel like you should be in a single. Like, I don't feel like you should go to the community until your whole entire body has graduated to white. When your body graduates to white, then you are allowed entrance into what is called pre-heaven.
It's too late at that point. There's a point where you start getting into your 75, 80s
But people
where you're not moving around.
If you have dark hair, though, and dark features, and you're in an old, like, retirement community, it's off-putting to me. I need you to be whiter, like whiter hair, whiter goatee.
Yeah. The amount of I'm like looking at golf carts. There's a bunch
so
of
you're
people.
gonna move to the villages.
No, there's something alluring about a golf cart to me, and I want to
Swamp person.
drive
It's
it.
swamp person
It's
luxury is what it is.
fancy. Okay,
It's
yeah,
swamp
No,
person
you sound like my
luxury.
It
wife.
sounds fancy.
Everybody wants to take the little vehicles for a ride. You know what I'm saying?
There's something.
You've had a full size, man. Why not have a fun size?
There's a mindset about driving around a golf cart that I kind of want to
Because
be
you think
in.
it's no rules. You can drink and drive on a golf
No.
cart. Yeah, I know what
There's
you're
some
doing.
of that.
uh-huh.
There's some of that.
One compound rule is the only reason he wants one. And then the word is seatbelts. If he
Right,
can drive with a
Yeah.
beer in his hand with no seatbelts, he's the happiest man alive.
And I know that some people in my neighborhood on the nice side have been getting all golf carts or whatever.
Your neighborhood's nice.
No, but there's a nicer on the other side of the. That's
Well, that side's too nice.
the one that the further away from the apartment complex you
Oh,
get,
Of
the
course.
better it
Yeah,
gets.
yeah.
Anyway, the
Out of the delivery range for Buffalo Wild Wings.
they drive around golf carts, and then
Do they have a drill team?
and I found out you can get a golf cart and turn it into street legal, and then you can drive on any Florida road as long as the speed limit's 35 or under. And so,
Okay, what
so
if-
you can literally get around
Wait a minute.
all everywhere.
Wait a minute. Do you want? And I'm being serious.
Yeah.
Do you really want a golf cart?
Yes, I do.
I have my mother's
And it hauls.
monster truck golf cart.
Yep.
I will give it to you because I have no place to keep it, and it is
By the way,
it's rotting up there.
That the beach house that your mother owns.
Yeah.
It's a little bit
it's
of the
very
villages.
much, very much. Which is
When
why
me and my husband spent some time out there, and I was just like, I don't know if I could live like this.
It's very much villages. I will give you that golf
I
cart.
could live like that.
Do you
I
want
think
that
I
golf
think you
cart?
could.
I want to live at your mom's beach house and drive around a golf cart
Yeah.
for the rest of my
Yeah.
life.
Done. I'll make it happen. I will give you that golf cart. It needs to be run. Seriously, it's got $1,000 worth of brand new batteries in it.
The only, I guess,
Just don't tell Crystal. 'Cause she'll get all
trepidation
mad
I-
at me.
that's the problem. Is like I'm driving to work. I'm like, yes, I'm in my golf cart. I have the time, and then
Hit dead.
I get hit from behind
And
by
you fly out.
by some teen girl.
6 car
Oh
links.
man.
Some teen girl's texting, and she hits me at 50.
For
like,
sure.
Doesn't even stop.
My
And
God.
it rockets me through the plastic windshield, right? And my pants get caught on the
Oh, it just
steering wheel.
rips them
And it
off.
rips that off.
Yeah, but it also rips one of your arms off, and then
Yeah.
you're laying and you're dead. But you could still hear Megan the Stallion playing from her Audi. Megan the Stallion's playing from her Audi, loud as hell.
And what happens is my body gets propelled into the back windshield of a minivan of
Salt Life
kids.
sticker.
Kids going to school. And
Oh man!
and then I do that move where I'm unconscious, but I'm trying to, and then I'm like that. You know those
It's like
deer?
a deer that wakes
Yeah.
up in the back seat.
It's like you hit a deer, and then it starts.
Except you're a naked man, and and your back half is just whipped crazy,
Yeah.
and you just shaved that night, so it's real fresh and shiny down there.
Oh,
And I'm like,
bumpy.
I'm like, "Ah!"
Pink.
I'm making the deer sound, blood's flinging
Oh, my
everywhere,
God.
and the kids are screaming, and I die in the car, and then they have to make the whole van a crime scene,
Yeah.
and it's a whole thing.
And then we have a funeral, and I get Porky's barbecue to cater it.
yes, I'm there.
Porky's in a
I
pop.
like how Samantha says yes. I've always
I turned her up. Samantha and I are listening to what Jana said. We're finding little nuggets of positivity.
Right. You
Yeah.
got to find the good and the bad.
Tom died naked in a van, whipped crazy, and we got Porky's barbecue at the funeral. It's
Get that
delicious.
sloppy cow.
all worth it. Bye-bye.